Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
The masseur facing sexual assault allegations.
Why'd you get under the table?
The table during a massage?
Yeah.
A paying client or a woman I met in my personal life? There's a difference.
You ran an ad that clients could be fully nude without a drape, that clients would be allowed to massage you.
That is all 100% the scope of practice of the Massage Code of Ethics.
Do you seriously expect me to believe what you're saying?
Believe which part exactly?
And
We sent Tarek to take a polygraph test. Did you deliberately touch while performing a massage on Julia? You answered both questions. And your answer was?
No.
The polygraph results reveal.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Yesterday, I met with Tarek, who claims he's being targeted by not one, but at least 18 different women, each claiming he sexually assaulted them during paid massages over a 3-year period. Now, Tarek strenuously denies this, so much so that he reached out to me and drove 2,000 miles to take a polygraph test in an attempt to clear his name on this stage today. Aside from the allegations of sexual misconduct, there have been a sequence of bizarre twists and turns, including Tarek's fake identical twin and even Tarek's alleged faked deaths. Take a look.
About a year and a half ago, I was in a lot of pain and needed to go get a massage. When I got to Tarek's house, Tarek led me upstairs to the massage room. Tarek was massaging my inner thighs, really close to my privates, all the while moaning. He was pleasuring himself. He got to my hands and placed his genitals. I was paralyzed with fear. Tarek violated me. He is a malicious, narcissist psychopath.
You went in to get a massage for therapeutic purposes, and you felt like you were sexually assaulted.
I was sexually assaulted.
You've since learned that there are others that have had a similar experience.
I have been a massage therapist for about 5.5 years. My business has been very successful. Julia said Tarek rubbed his face on her feet and placed his male genitalia, and that is not true. Made me a little bit angry that Julia came up with this allegation. I think she just wanted attention.
You've got an awful lot of women that feel that you crossed boundaries. You said you think she did this just for attention. She doesn't strike me as somebody that's looking for attention. She said that there were things that just really crossed the line in terms of your genitals touching her body. Is that possible that that happened?
Absolutely not. I wasn't even exposed.
And how do you know that with such certainty?
I would have to have my zipper unzipped, and I'd have to pull down my shorts, which I never did.
Leah tells a similar story. She says that she felt your genitals on her body.
She's absolutely incorrect.
She says that you have harassed her with countless emails from fake lawyers threatening legal action to Leah. I am a legal representative. We would like to politely request that you remove your review from the Google page. Did you write this?
I didn't actually click send, but I had someone send it.
I am a legal representative. That's a lie.
I mean, I didn't claim to actually be a lawyer per se.
Have you sent this to others?
I've not sent that email to anyone other than her.
Okay. You said you didn't send it. You just now said you did send it. I don't know which of the lies to believe. We have also communicated to the therapist, that would be you. When you lie, you need to go back and check your pronouns. The thing's a fraud, right?
Yes, parts of it are not worded 100% accurate.
The twin picture was intended to be a complete sarcastic joke. I just completely fabricated a photo of two of me and lied. I have a twin, he's the horny one of us may be dead.
You invent this twin and say, he's the horny one.
Well, if I did have a twin, he'd be the horny one, because I'm not over-sexualized. I did not expect anyone to believe this by any means. I'm not a pathological liar.
Define that for me. What is a pathological liar?
Someone who relentlessly lies, believes their lies.
The way you use the term, it does seem to kind of fit.
I absolutely did not take my own death. No. My brother told me that he had had a mutual friend commit suicide. He may have posted on social media about it. Obviously, he has the same last name as me.
Your explanation for that was you have a brother who has a friend that died. There's a fake obituary, not of your brother's friend, but of you, Tarek. That's you.
I think that someone else made that.
Where were you trained in massage? Did you go to a school?
Yes.
And had hands-on training?
Yes.
Do you think that any of the things that you do, that you acknowledge doing, did those cross any of the boundaries of what you were trained?
You're referring to these things that have nothing to do with massage therapy, like the twin and... Or that
No, any of the things that you do in the massage room.
Well, again, those most serious allegations are not even true. So I don't agree with that behavior, but the most serious ones are not even true.
Well, in the findings of fact by the board, number 5 in the findings of fact said that you ran an ad that was very specific in advertising for your services. At times, the respondent advertised his massage services online. Among other things, respondent's advertisement stated that clients could be fully nude without a drape, that respondent would massage clients' inner thighs, glutes, and lower abs excessively, that respondent would allow clients to massage respondents, that clients would be allowed to massage you
if it's a trade
during
or
the
barter.
session, and contained the statement, discretion is important.
That is all 100% in the scope of practice of the 33-page Tennessee Massage Code of Ethics, and I can explain every one. It does not require, and this is in the document, a full top sheet. It says just enough, a small one, to cover the groin areas. So you can be fully nude. You don't need a full top sheet as long as you have a small towel to cover those areas. And that's listed in the Tennessee 33-page Massage Code of Ethics.
Well, it's interesting that they, with their 33 pages, they use that as a finding of fact in the determination to immediately terminate your license.
Yeah, because they didn't get a chance for me to give my side of things, and they were looking for more ammo, which had nothing to do with the first 2 allegations against me. I guess they were desperate for some ammo. It's open to interpretation, but inner thighs, glutes, and abdomen are 100% in the scope of practice of massage therapy. Massage trade, barter, which I'm offered many times by clients who've responded to my ads as chiropractors or students. Discretion is important. HIPAA regulations require privacy. You have to maintain privacy with communications, contact information, names. Discretion is very important. Why would I be penalized for that? Am I supposed to not maintain their privacy?
Did somebody slip in here and stamp stupid on my forehead? Do you seriously expect me to believe what you're saying?
Which part? About the HIPAA regulations? About the privacy?
That you're telling me that you expect me to believe what you're saying about that, and you expected the board to believe that.
To believe which part exactly? What's
that ad is within the boundaries of professional conduct and ethics for a licensed massage therapist.
Glutes, thighs.
Well, listen, I'm not a massage therapist, so I don't know, but I do know someone who is. Let me introduce an expert. Joining us is Dr. Kathy Groover. Now, she is a massage therapist with over 30 years of experience. Kathy has also been an expert massage witness on over a dozen court cases, including cases of sexual assault within the massage therapy industry. Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Am I missing something?
No, I'm really confused by this too. And I have to say, I feel so sorry for these women who were traumatized during this time. You show up to someplace, you expect to be treated professionally, held in hands of care, and to be violated like this is horrible. And the only times I have ever seen discretion necessary on an ad is when there's sex involved. And for legitimate massage therapists like myself who don't want that to be happening. Stuff like this drives me crazy. To advertise the body parts that you're going to be massaging is completely inappropriate. The few times that I've had calls from men obviously wanting sex from the massage, they would say things like, do you do the lower abdomen? Do you do the inner thigh? It's this code for sexuality. And as a professional massage therapist, that's not what we do. We don't give people the option of a drape. You are covered, breast covered, genitals covered. When you work the area, you may uncover it, but you cover it right back up. Body parts shouldn't be on people's faces. Moaning and making comments about somebody's body is completely inappropriate. You should never make personal comments to a client about their body. And there are so many male massage therapists who suffer at the hands of things like this because women are tentative to go to them anyway. And then we hear stories like this, and this is their greatest fear realized, of being alone in a dark room in a house, naked, with a man they don't know, feeling violated. This is a horrible situation, and I find it appalling.
How about no shirt? And
no, that's not appropriate either. The massage therapist should not be in any state of disrobe.
No, I didn't want to say this, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm making excuses. I just want to acknowledge that I do have a social disorder, and sometimes it causes me to say things without thinking or misjudge certain boundaries. But I can learn from experience, and I can learn from being told, and I would appreciate if people had some faith in me to learn. And I'm sorry that I lack common sense as a result of my mild form of autism, but these are things that can be corrected and learned from.
I hope so. Why'd you get under the table?
Okay, she was face down the whole time. Her breasts are not exposed. I don't massage breast. I massage the side back.
According to her, you didn't massage them, but you touched them. And later, I shared Tarek's videotape interview with a team of world-class body language and human behavior experts.
You can't hide your body language.
Why'd you get under the table?
Under the table during a massage?
Yeah.
I don't think any of my paying clients, did they say I was under the table during a paying client or a woman I met, like, in my personal life? So there's a difference.
One of them says you got under the table to massage her scalp.
Oh, no. She didn't say I was actually under the table. She said that I was on the floor using one hand to use a scalp massage tool, but I wasn't actually under the table. That's not what she said.
I've been doing massage a long time, and I taught massage, and I did the massage DVD, and there's no reason to be laying on the floor. It just doesn't even make any sense.
It really helped my back because I was able to straighten and pop my back. And she was face down. I didn't think she'd even notice, but that's actually been normal for me. I keep the table at the lowest level, which is why I have knee pads in the video, so I'm on my knees half the time. So that's...
How many hours of ethics training did you have in your massage training?
This was in the state of Georgia. I honestly can't remember the exact number. I know we have to do like 4 hours of renewal every 2 years.
Did they talk about where your body is in relationship to the client's body?
Yes, but at least in that case, no part of my body is touching any other part of the
Right, but it seems to be a pattern that has maybe happened in the past, especially when you're working with a female. As a male, you have to be so hyper aware of how easily predatory this can be.
Yes.
And I feel like it went there.
I can see the misperception. I don't have ulterior motives to go further, but I need to make sure I have stricter boundaries, including full drape. We're not advertising no drape and specify that. This is an ad that
This is from client one in the police report. This was November of 17. Respondent massaged a female client, client one. Client one requested a drape, but respondent failed to provide one. And as a result, client one was massaged undraped in her bra and underwear.
I can already correct. There's a small misunderstanding.
Would that be appropriate at any time?
No.
There is a misunderstanding with that, though.
Respondent engaged in sexualizing and unprofessional behavior with the client, including asking client one whether she had been kissed on her feet, and by asking client one to tell him about that experience, and by getting under the massage table while touching or working on the client's feet.
So many boundaries, Dr. Phil, so many boundaries that are not met during that.
It's helter-skelter here. I mean,
well, and if somebody wants to stay, I have always said to clients, disrobe to your level of comfort. It is preferable for us to have the client fully nude under the drape. Easier to get to the low back, easier to get to the hips, the glutes. It's better for therapeutic purposes. If somebody is comfortable leaving their panties on or their bra on, we're not going to argue with them on that. Our job as a massage therapist is the comfort, the care, and the health of the person that's on our table.
You're not following that guideline. Come on.
Yes.
You say you want to have some insight here. That's why I said have an open mind going into this. Learn from this situation.
Yes, there are clearly much stricter boundaries. Like, this is my very first complaint ever years back, and this is something to absolutely be learned from. I have to be careful what I say, what I ask.
Well, there was one a year later. It said respondent touched client 2's breast. Respondent removed his own shirt. Respondent lay down on the floor while massaging client 2's scalp. Respondent touched his genitals.
She's wrong about the last
You're on the
part.
floor again.
That is the one. Oh, yeah, that's what I was telling you about earlier, about the scalp and on the floor. Okay, she was face down the whole time. Her breasts are not exposed. I don't massage breast. I massage the side back.
According to her, you didn't massage them, but you touched them.
I massaged the side back. The closest I could have gotten was you have to be mindful of the breast tissue, and I will be mindful of that, but that was absolutely not intentional. I'm not even
You know what?
interested
There's a
in
lot of ways to communicate, and we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by 4 of the world's leading body language experts who have been studying video of Tarek to see what his behaviors reveal. He said he wanted to take a polygraph. I think there are a lot of ways to communicate, a lot of ways to get to what's being said. You're going to want to stick around for this. We'll be right back.
I see indicators of disgust from the nose that you make, contempt that you show in the side of your mouth. And I can see you're under stress right now.
And later, you asked to take a polygraph, so you answered no to both questions. John, what was the result? I'm talking today to Tarek, who is at the center of a long list of what he claims are spurious false allegations of sexual assault from various women, which has resulted in the revocation of his massage license. Now, Tarek says he drove 2,000 miles to see me to prove his innocence. Now, I shared Tarek's videotape interview from the field shoot with a team of world-class body language and human behavior experts who have made some revealing observations. Now, please welcome human behavior analyst and co-creator of BodyLanguageTactics.com, Scott Roush. Now, Scott has trained alongside the FBI, Secret Service, U.S. Military Intelligence, and Department of Defense. Expert in human behavior and body language and author of Truth and Lies, What People Are Really Thinking, Mark Bowden is Harvard-educated and president of the National Communication Coach Association of Canada. Owner of human behavior and deception consulting company MindAtWar.com, Greg Hartley, is former interrogator with the United States Army, and best-selling author of the Ellipse Manual. Chase Hughes developed a groundbreaking world-first interrogation behavior analysis tool that revolutionized law enforcement training in the United States. In short, these gentlemen are the best of the best. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. So, you've been watching everything so far. Any comments?
Yeah, Tarek, I've watched your video. I've been doing this a long time. You got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to tell you, I can see a lot of body language. If I want to start with barriers, when you say your business is very successful, immediately changing, there's an indicator of deception. Start scratching at your scalp when you're talking about Gmail addresses, indicators of deception. There's all this ever-present water bottle you put to your mouth as you get to fight or flight. Your indicators of deception are all over you. Look at that eyebrow you got that you keep trying to push down. It's a good indicator. You can't hide your body language. I see nothing but deception in you.
Tarek, I see indicators of disgust from you, disdain and contempt. And I see those around when you talk about women, when you talk specifically about ethics, when you talk about the board, when you talk even to Dr. Phil. And that comes from the nose that you make quite often as a baseline, the contempt that you show in the side of your mouth. Often in the videos that I've seen, I see an eye roll from you.
I have an
which
eye
is quite a
strain.
juvenile gesture. I'm sure you have an answer, Tarek, for everything. And that's clear. Whatever we put forward, whatever Dr. Phil puts forward, whatever the people who accuse you put forward, you have an answer to that. And I can see you're under stress right now. I can see that from what you're doing. Here, it's not about eye strain, it's about the stress that you're under right now, because you know, as well as we do, that you really aren't telling us everything. Scott, let me hand over to you. What have you got about this?
Well, what I'm seeing is part of this treasure trove of training that we're going to use. When you're talking to someone and you're not telling the truth, what happens is usually the brain has to do three things when you tell a lie. It has to stop and say, don't tell the lie. Number two, it has to create the lie. And then number three, it delivers the lie. And that's where you need time to make that lie up, because there's that space there. That's what you're using that water bottle for. Also, most people are under the impression when you are being dishonest, you'll break eye contact with them. That's not true. Most of the time, the person will keep eye contact with them. This is what you're doing. Your blink rate goes way low when you're listening to someone like you're listening to me now. You blink like 2 times, right? So what you're doing is, once you tell a lie, you're waiting to see what information is going to come back and to see if you need to add what are called qualifiers to that, to say, here's why, which you've done with Dr. Phil through that whole little discussion you all had there.
I mean, you see the eyebrow is rising, and you keep saying you have an eye problem. You don't have an eye problem, you have a truth problem. And that other eye is closing to try to get away from the problem, and that eyebrow is showing us you're trying to adjust the wrong eye, buddy.
Well, can I just say something?
Sure.
I've spent thousands of dollars and had serious eye surgery, at least 4. And this one's like my really bad eye. Like, there's a ton of astigmatism. Clients have specifically accused me of putting my bare genitals on them, and that's just not true.
So you qualified that with bare.
Those are the worst ones. What are the ones that weren't so bad?
We're joined by 4 of the world's leading body language experts who have been studying video of Tarek. Anything you guys want to comment on first?
Think carefully before you answer this. Is there any reason that evidence would have surfaced showing some of these things might have happened, maybe from a cell phone or other? And before you answer, you asked for help from Dr. Phil, and you're here for that. And if you made a mistake, that's okay, and that's something he can work with. But
Yes.
Nobody's perfect.
Yes.
And if you made a mistake and there's something there, let's bring it out.
Yes. I mean, I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect or that I have the best ethics. I'll admit there's a lot of room for growth to maintain the highest level of professionalism above and beyond what the law says, above and beyond what the massage boards write. And I can do that. And I want help with that. I deny the worst allegations that I've received against me. I think 2 or even 3 clients have specifically accused me of putting my bare genitals on them. And that's just not true. It's just plain and simple.
Those are the worst ones. What are the ones that weren't so bad that we can work through?
Yes, those are things I need to learn from. Sometimes my Asperger's causes me to kind of misjudge boundaries. I might ask a question that you can get away with a friend or somebody you've known for a while. A new massage client, you have to be careful.
Who told you that you were autistic?
I was diagnosed when I was 16 in February 2004. It was in high school. It was a high school diagnosis when I first found out.
See, I don't think that's true either.
But you don't think I was diagnosed in high school?
I don't believe you were. You don't have any of the earmarks or hallmarks of someone with Asperger's at all. Not even a little bit. Everything you've shown us at this point appears to be.
Something is working in your head right now, because I see your mouth is dry and you're licking your lips and you're feeling the stress and you've got fight or flight starting.
Well, gentlemen, that may be because I was just handed the document that he signed. Question 32 of the intake form was, have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illness or disorder? And his answer was no.
Does it fall under that category, Asperger's? Does it fall under that category? Social, mental, emotional?
Facts, you're negotiating a question, you're distancing from the answer. Those are classic deception markers. Every time I listen to you, all I hear is deception, deception, deception.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to play semantics.
One thing that concerned us as a group, Dr. Phil's staff sent us an hour and a half long video to look through. The only time all 4 of us saw natural, truthful behavior and enjoyment was when you were discussing revenge or vengeance and how you had gotten back at another person.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to play
you see what you just did right there? See how your chin went down right there? And you started getting quiet? That tells us as well that something's not right here.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I was a little confused with this. I mean, if the question specifically said if you've been diagnosed with a form of autism, I would have absolutely answered that. I wasn't even sure what that entailed.
One of the first things I look for when I'm talking to someone I think might have autism,
yes,
I look for the movement in their eyebrows and their forehead. You've been Botox, so a lot of it is not working up, is not working, but your eyebrows seem to be working.
If you had a daughter, would you let her date you based on your current profile?
Not based on just hearing that.
Yeah, hell no. If you had a daughter, would you let her date you based on your current profile?
Not based on just hearing that.
Yeah, hell no.
What do you really think about women? What do you feel about women? Answer that for me.
I like women. They should be respected.
And?
And feel safe around me, and many have been. In fact, almost all of my friends are female, and they've been shocked by these allegations. I'm like a brother to them. I've never even been...
And what do you feel? What do you feel when somebody says they haven't felt safe around you? A woman says they haven't felt safe around you. What do you feel about that?
Surprised and hurt. I would never assault a woman.
So when we saw original video of you talking about this, we saw anger from you around this. Very clear. You were angry about this. Very upset that anybody would accuse you. Very contemptful, disdainful of them, that they shouldn't be within your social network, your social group, if they, cast aspersions on you, if they accuse you of something. What do you say to that?
You're saying, I want you to understand the question, that you got the impression that I wouldn't want some of these accusers to be part of my social circle?
Yeah, what do you think should happen to them?
I mean, they're just making an honest mistake. Just an honest mistake. I'm not saying that they're maliciously lying. I'm not saying that they should be in any kind of legal trouble.
Well, if they're lying, it's okay to call them liars.
But if it's an honest mistake, I don't want to call someone a liar who's making an honest mistake.
Tarek, one question for you. Mistake. I just heard you say your clients who reported you, but you said in the video that your friends or people you met on a dating app or some other thing had reported you. How many of those reported you?
Well, according to the news reports, which I haven't verified, but according to the reports, he said 17.
Let's negotiate the answer. How many of your friends or acquaintances, not clients, have reported you?
Well, those aren't friends.
That's not an essay question.
They're not
just
friends.
Answer the question is what he's saying. Don't try to obviate. Just answer the question.
Okay, they're not friends, but you're asking how many women have complained about me? The answer, according to the report, was 17.
You think that's a red flag?
Yeah,
you think that's a red flag?
That something needs to change. Something needs to change to make sure.
Do you think that these women, 3 of them, if one of them said that your chin or your whatever it was that you placed on their body, they thought was your genitalia, why did it happen a second or third time? Do you see any red flags here?
There were 2.
Okay, we have to take a break. Tarek told my team that he wanted to take a polygraph test to prove he did not sexually assault multiple women on his massage table. I have a question for him before we talk about the results of that when we come back. We'll be right back. Do you want to know the results of that polygraph, or you think we should wrap this up and let you head back to Tennessee?
Do you know the results?
I do not know the results. Hey everyone, season 19 is underway.
If you never made it to Hollywood to be a part of the studio audience, well, now it doesn't matter. If you're in Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas, New Jersey, or anywhere else in the world, now you can be a part of our virtual audience.
All you need is a computer and an internet connection. Go to drphil.com and click on Be Part of the Audience for more information.
That's right. Hope to see you soon.
Julia claims Tarek inappropriately touched her during a 90-minute hot stone massage last year. But get this, Julia is one of as many as 18 other females, some dates, some clients, who also claim Tarek touched them inappropriately. Tarek says these allegations are false and that he is not a sexual predator. Well, here's what we know so far just based on the record. Up to 18 women, one man allegedly have reported similar sexual assault stories. There have been 10 911 calls made about you. At least 6 police reports have been filed. The police currently have open and active investigation about you. You are a walking encyclopedia of contradictory statements. The Tennessee license to perform massages has been revoked based on client testimony. According to the Tennessee Licensing Board, you've advertised for clients to come and be fully nude without drape, offering to massage inner thighs, glutes, lower abs excessively, and inviting clients to massage you back, stating discretion is important. Sexual activities with clients is prohibited by the board. There's been a hoax about a twin that you say is just a joke. There's been some story about some Tennessee lottery that you deny that you won. Alleged fake death story. We've had the 4 leading, in my opinion, the 4 leading body language experts on the globe who have observed your interview with us before now and your time here on the stage, who I believe if you said it was light and day and dark at night, they would rush outside to check. That you asked to take a polygraph. Do you want to know the results of that polygraph, or you think we should wrap this up and let you head back to Tennessee?
Do you know the results?
I do not know the results.
Yes. I'd like to find out together.
Joining me now is John Grogan. He is one of the most respected polygraph examiners in the country. He's conducted over 10,000 polygraph exams, and earlier this morning, he conducted a rigorous polygraph exam with Tarek. Thank you so much for joining us. John, you've done a lot of polygraph exams.
Yep.
There's a pre-interview that takes place where you define your terms.
Yes.
Very carefully, and to make sure that there's no confusion. Everybody understands what's meant when the questions are asked. Did you feel like you were treated fairly?
Yes.
Did you feel like he took his time with you and
he was very, very
terms?
Patient. Remember, he was very patient.
He was very patient with you, and he defined all the terms, and you knew exactly what you were answering. You felt comfortable with that?
Yes.
So if it's a good result, then you'll be confident in it. If it's not a good result, you're not going to complain, well, you know, the room wasn't right, or he didn't treat me fair, or whatever. Good or bad, it is what it is.
Yes, I'll respect the findings.
All right. The question asked was, did you deliberately touch Julia during a massage with your genitals? And your answer was?
No.
The second question was, while performing a massage on Julia, did you intentionally touch her with your genitals?
Answer was no.
Answer was no. So you answered no to both questions. And John, what was the result?
Major deception.
Major deception. Numerically, he scored where?
On a 7 to 7 scale, somewhere way past 12, probably near 20.
Okay, so in order to have been non-deceptive, he would have been somewhere between 7 and 7, and he was like minus 20?
True.
This was not a close call.
Correct.
I'm very surprised to hear this. I don't know if there were I know there were a lot of concerns during the testing regarding how much water intake I had and sweat being produced and the timing, and I was told to do it that
now,
before.
wait a
I don't
minute.
know.
Wait a minute. Hold
Surprised.
on. Before we went to the results, I said, do you have any concerns about the test, about the environment, about the way you were treated, about the room, about the circumstance?
Yeah.
If it says what you want it to say, you'll have confidence in it. If it doesn't, you will respect it. And you said, absolutely. Then you get the result you don't want. You say, well, water drinking and sweat production. And so now you want to negotiate the result.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just surprised. Yes, the room was fine. He was fine.
Well, you didn't stay with your commitment for 45 seconds. Can I give you some advice?
Please.
You're a young man, and I think you're an intelligent young man. You're not as smart as you think you are, but I think you're an intelligent young man, and I'm being very sincere when I say this to you. You don't have to let this define you, but you need to get real with yourself, because let me tell you, there's a certain aspect, and I can't sit here and diagnose you. That would be unprofessional on my part. In order for me to do a diagnosis with you, I would need to do a battery of psychometric tests. I would need to do certain structured interviews. I would need to spend time with you. I would need to interview collaterals. I would need to do a lot of things to do a proper diagnosis of you, and I can't do that here, and I'm not going to do that here. You, in my opinion, have some mental illness issues in terms of personality disorders that you need to say, this is on my to-do list.
What kind of help can I get to receive an accurate diagnosis? Well, that's the first step to know what I have.
That's the first thing that needs to happen here. And look, we're in a pandemic right now, and I am prepared. There's a company that we control because my son founded it, and I'm involved in it, called Doctor on Demand. And it's a top telemedicine company in the country. And I'm willing to get you kick-started in that regard. I'll set up 10 sessions with somebody for you right now to start you down that road. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. John, thank you.
Doctor?
Thank you so much. Look, if you at home want to use your own Doctor on Demand, just go to Google Play Store or Apple Store and download the Doctor on Demand app. I want to thank all of my guests today, including body language experts, Scott Rouse, Mark Bowden, Greg Hartley, and Chase Hughes. You guys are great. Thank you so much for putting so much time and effort into this. These guys break down some of the most intriguing interviews that are out there, from politicians to crime, in the Behavioral Project. I'm a subscriber. You should be a subscriber. And it is really interesting to see what they do with things that are happening in our world today. I'm going to put a link on all of our social platforms so you can find them. And Doctor, thank you so much for being here. And please be aware, anytime you go to any health professional, they are licensed by the state they practice in. These licensing boards are there to protect the public by making sure licensees are qualified and to discipline if they do not comply with professional standards. If you ever have an experience that you believe is unprofessional, you can contact the appropriate licensing board and they will investigate. They're there to protect you. If you want more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere. And don't forget to subscribe to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret. We'll see you next time.